My name's Steve Butler with Lawrence Mead, and what we're going to do, we're going to try and show you how to get lugworm with the lugworm pump. So what we'll do, this is just a look at our local beach, and we'll show how it's done in a couple of moments. There's another lugworm, first pump. So there's two lugworms in two pumps there. Here we go again. There's lugworm again, first pump. Here we go again. Lugworm again, first pump. There's 4 lugworm in 30 seconds. What we'll try and do in a minute is as you can see, the lugworm pump's around about an inch from the cast. You push down, pump down about 6 inches, and there you go. One nice worm. As you can see, Lawrence is putting in thick, fairy liquid into the hole at the top of the pump. This helps the suction of the pump. As you can see there, the fairy liquid did make a difference on that one. Got it on the first pump. Lol's now going to do 4 or 5 casts in a row. So that's 5 worms in 5 casts within less than a minute. As you can see, Lol's not pushing the pump too far down. That's one mistake a lot of anglers make, is by pushing the pump right past where the worm is. As you can see, another worm, another cast, same again, not too far down, couple of pumps, and with a bit of luck, Lol should have the worm. He has, he's got a little bit, it's cut a little bit, but there again, another black worm. As you can see now, Lol's going to put the pump in no more than 6 inches. 1 pump, 2 pump, there it is, lovely worm. Next cast, same again, not too far down, pulling at the same time. That's a missed worm looking at it. No, it's not, he's got it.
Experience tells you to check the sand.
Always check the sand, yeah. As you can see on the water's edge, less than 6 inches down, first again, another worm. Not a big one, but not a bad worm. Same again, 1 pump, and there's the worm again. I know it looks easy, but with a bit of practice, well, it is easy.
Super bass bait, underestimated. A lot of anglers.
A lot of worm diggers usually try and leave a broken up cast, but they're always worth doing. 1 pump there by Lol, and there it is. Lovely looking worm. And that's your typical worm that you get on our beach. Good lugworm, good bait for bass, very good bait for bass. Right, there's the worm. If you're gonna keep your worms for a few days, yeah, it's always best to gut them first. And the easiest way to gut them is just squeeze the head, as Lawrence is doing now. All the guts come out, and all you got to do then is put it in your bucket, ready to wash later on. Now if you're keeping a worm and you want to use it on that day and you want to keep all the juices in the worm, try and put it in the bucket gently, because if you throw it in hard, what they tend to do is they explode themselves and gut themselves, and that's what you don't want if you want to keep your bait ready for what Lol's going to do now is going to go on a deeper angle, a lot further back from the cast, and draw it out and suck it. And as you can see, what happens is when you're pulling the pump back out, not so much with the handle but with pulling the pump, that's what sucks the worm out. As you can see, Lol's not pushing the pump in too far. The biggest mistake a lot of pumpers do is just pushing the pump in too far, and it cuts the worm in half. As you can see there with Lol, it's just a whole worm. Straight to another cast, again not too far, couple of pumps, and look, there's the worm. This here now is a drier patch of sand. What tends to happen when you do a dry patch of sand is you don't get the worms. It's better to have the wet sand. You get more of a suction then on with your pump. As Lol's tried now, he's tried 2 casts here now, and nothing. It's always best to have two buckets with you, yeah? One with holes in, because you're going to rinse your worms out in a bit, but the other collects all the blood and all the bits that have come out of the worms. What we'll do in a minute is wash the worms in the bucket with the holes. If you look now, you can see, we're washing the worms now, you can see all the juices coming out of those worms, all the colours and everything in the sand there. That's just giving the worms a little bit of a wash. Now these worms in this bucket now are the worms kept alive, and they'd be used for fishing maybe tonight or something along them lines, or first thing in the morning. As you can see, a lot fatter, and some of them are ready to explode themselves, but the majority of the worms will stay whole. As you can see here now, the worms on the left are live worms, still alive, but the worms on the right are gutted, a lot skinnier, because obviously all the guts have been squeezed out of them. Ones on the right are ready for wrapping, ones on the left are ready for fishing. The tip for a gutted worm is to throw it on the sand really hard. And as you can see there, the muscles are contracting in the worm, and it tightens up and goes really stiff, so it makes it easier for you to feed it onto your hook. Now that will feed on a hook. If you're like me and you like to put 3 worms on a hook, what you want to do is throw the 3 of them down together, a lot easier. You can see them all contracting there, perfect for putting on the hook. Pedal rigs. This is all got in the worms now, because these worms we've got now, we're not going to keep them for fishing, we're either going to freeze them, or keep them for a few days then freeze them. But we got 55 worms in half an hour, which isn't bad really. One thing you should always do is clean your pump. Give it a good rinse in the water, pump it in and out as Lawrence is doing now, yeah? See all the water coming out the top, because if you don't clean it out, your pump's just not going to work. It's not going to be any good for the next time you go. And another thing you should always do is loosen the screw at the bottom. Don't leave it tight, keep it nice and loose. That's it, one clean pump, ready for the next time. You can see a bit of the fairy liquid in the water there, but it's biodegradable, as Lawrence said. What we always try and do is wrap our worms in newspaper. We're doing it like that. The newspaper pulls the moisture out of the worm, and it helps the worm last longer. Another tip as well is, when you wrap your worms, after a couple of days, re-wrap them again, and it makes the worms last a lot longer, and they can last up to about 4 or 5 days. As you can see now, each worm gets wrapped by itself. You don't want the worms touching each other, if possible. And that's the way we wrap our worms here in North Wales.